On December 26, 2016, a German financial newspaper revealed that France is looting 440 billion euros from Africa through CFA Franc. The CFA Franc is a regional African currency backed by the French treasury and pegged to the euro. It was created by France in 1945 following the end of the Second World War. France controls the CFA Franc, and African countries, using the currency, have no sovereignty over their monetary policies. CFA Franc is a form of neo-colonialism that allows France to extract wealth from Africa. CFA Franc is used by 14 countries in West and Central Africa. It is managed by the West African Monetary Union, WEMU, and the Central African Economic and Monetary Community, CEMAC. They are both headquartered in Paris, France. The French Treasury has a veto over all decisions made by the WEMU and CEMAC. African countries using the CFA franc are required to deposit 50% of their foreign exchange reserves with the French Treasury. France also charges a commission on all transactions made in CFA francs. France is not the only imperialist country that still exploits its former colonies economically, but it is the most obvious and brazen.
Questo si chiama franco CFA. È la moneta coloniale che la Francia stampa per 14 nazioni africane, alle quali applica il signoraggio e in forza delle quali sfrutta le risorse di questa nazione. Questo è un bambino che lavora in una miniera d'oro in Burkina Faso. Il Burkina Faso è una delle nazioni più povere del mondo. Per il Burkina Faso, che ha l'oro, la Francia stampa moneta coloniale. In cambio pretende che finiscano nelle casse del tesoro francese il 50% di tutto quello che il Burkina Faso esporta. L'oro che questo bambino si infila in un cunicolo per tirare fuori finisce per lo più nelle casse dello Stato francese. Allora la soluzione non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa. La soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di vivere di quello che hanno.
France is dependent on the income from its former colonies to avoid becoming a third world country. Former colonies of France deposit 85% of their currency reserves in the French central bank. Former colonies have to pay off colonial debts for infrastructure that France built during colonization. France gets all its former colonies' recently discovered raw material deposits at skimpy prices. French companies are given priority for all commercial orders in the former colonies. The leaders of former French colonies are obliged to follow the demands of France. If African politicians refuse to follow France's demands, they are at risk of assassination or a coup. France has a history of overthrowing governments in its former colonies that have tried to assert their independence. According to a study by the French historian Catherine Coquery-Vidrovich and other sources, France carried out at least 67 coups or attempted coups in 26 African countries between 1960 and 2000. These are some of the most notable coups carried out by France in Africa. 1963, a coup in Togo overthrew the country's first president, Sylvanus Olympio, who refused to sign a colonial pact with France that would have given France control over Togo's currency and economy. He was assassinated shortly after the coup. 1965, a coup in the Central African Republic, which overthrew President David Dacko, who refused to sign the colonial pact with France. He was replaced by Jean Bédel Bokassa, who became a close ally of France. 1967, a coup in Congo-Brazzaville overthrew President Alphonse Massamba Deba, who had nationalized the country's oil industry. 1968, a coup in Mali overthrew President Modibo Keïta, who had nationalized Mali's mining industry controlled by French companies. He was replaced by Moussa Traoré. 1970, a coup in Gabon overthrew President Léon Meba, who refused to allow France to continue exploiting Gabon's oil reserves. 1991, a coup in the Comoros, which overthrew President Ahmed Abdallah. Abdallah, who tried to reduce France's influence in the Comoros, and many other coups, assassinations, and crimes. In short, France has still been using its imperial political and military power to plunder the resources of African nations. When will France end its colonial practices to allow African countries to develop their economies and societies?